What happens when you mix proven champions, rising stars, and a rookie phenom who hasn't played a single NBA game but already owns the headlines? You get the 2026 Dallas Mavericks, a team on the verge of something historic. And it all starts with a teenager who could change the league forever, Cooper Flagg. When the Dallas Mavericks stepped up to the podium at the 2026 NBA draft and called Cooper Flagg's name with the #1 overall pick, it wasn't just another selection, it was a statement.
The Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg from Duke University.
This was a franchise declaring that the future wasn't something they'd wait for. They were bringing it to Dallas now. Flagg entered the league with one of the most decorated high school and prep careers in recent memory. From his days at Montverde Academy to dominating at the Nike Hoop Summit, he displayed a rare combination of basketball IQ and competitive fire. Scouts praised his defensive instincts, noting how he seemed to read plays seconds before they unfolded. At 6 feet 9 inches, with a long wingspan and elite lateral quickness, he's built to guard multiple positions, the kind of player who can anchor a defense from day one. Offensively, Flagg arrived with a game already polished beyond his age. He can stretch the floor with a smooth jumper, attack closeouts with a decisive first step, and finish through contact in the paint. Analysts compare his composure to a young LeBron and his defensive motor to Kevin Garnett. Lofty names for a player yet to play an NBA game. Those aren't casual comparisons. They're the kind of names reserved for players expected to change franchises. The Mavericks wasted no time throwing him into the fire. Before his first NBA minute, he was already penciled in as a starter, slotted next to Anthony Davis in a front court designed to suffocate opponents. And in that locker room, Flagg has the perfect environment to grow, surrounded by champions like Davis, Klay Thompson, and Kyrie Irving, all of whom know how to win on the biggest stage. He's still just a teenager, but make no mistake, Dallas isn't treating him like one. They're treating him like the player who could define their next decade and maybe their next championship. If Cooper Flagg is the spark, then the veterans around him are the steady flame that keeps this Dallas team burning. The Mavericks didn't just build a roster, they built a support system made up of players who have already stood under the brightest lights in basketball. At the heart of that system is Anthony Davis, an 8-time All-Star, NBA champion, and one of the league's most dominant defenders. His ability to guard both the rim and the perimeter makes him an ideal partner for Flagg.
Now Şengün against Davis. And Şengün got to the body and then a block shot.
Davis isn't just a shot blocker. He's a player who can anchor an entire defensive scheme while still giving you 20 points a night. Then there's Klay Thompson, a 4-time NBA champion and one of the greatest shooters the game has ever seen. His ability to space the floor forces defenses to make impossible choices, collapse on the drive and leave him open, or stay glued to him and give Kyrie or Flagg room to attack. Off the court, Klay's calm, no-drama approach brings a steadying presence to a locker room that now blends youth and experience. Kyrie Irving needs no introduction, a former NBA champion whose ball handling and shot making have defined highlight reels for over a decade. When the game is on the line, few in history have been more dangerous with the ball in their hands. Even D'Angelo Russell, often overlooked, brings valuable playoff experience and the ability to control the pace when Kyrie sits. He's a secondary playmaker who can keep the offense humming without disruption. The question is simple. With this level of championship DNA surrounding Flagg, how quickly can a rookie turn into a contender's cornerstone? Dallas might not have to wait long to find out. If the veterans bring the winning mindset, the Mavericks' defense brings the intimidation. This isn't a group built just to keep pace in shootouts. It's a unit designed to suffocate opponents for 48 minutes. The front court alone is a nightmare. Anthony Davis, Cooper Flagg, Daniel Gafford, and Derek Lively give Dallas 4 players over 6 feet 9 inches who can alter shots, protect the rim, and run the floor. Davis is a proven all-defensive force. Gafford is an elite shot blocker and lob threat. Lively is already showing promise as a switchable big, and Flagg brings the rare ability to guard both wings and bigs without giving up ground. On the perimeter, Dallas has stoppers who can match up with any scorer in the league. Najee Marshall brings physical, in-your-face defense against bigger wings, while Caleb Martin is a proven playoff performer who thrives on taking the toughest assignments. The real strength is defensive flexibility. This team can play traditional drop coverage with Davis or Gafford protecting the rim, switch everything with Flagg and Martin closing space, or trap ball handlers with length coming from every angle. And they can do all of it without pulling too much offense off the court. Every one of these defenders can also contribute on the other end. In the playoffs, when possessions slow and every basket is a battle, this kind of size and mobility is the difference between getting stopped and getting swept. The question is, when you've got this much length and speed on the floor, How many teams can even survive a 7-game series against them? For all their defensive dominance, the Mavericks are far from one-dimensional. This roster is loaded with offensive options that can hurt opponents in multiple ways, whether it's slowing the game down to exploit mismatches or turning it into a track meet. The shooting threats alone make Dallas dangerous. Klay Thompson remains one of the most efficient three-point shooters in NBA history, capable of changing a game in a single quarter.
Sar is 31% on threes this year, the number 2 pick of the draft. Klay Thompson hits for the corner.
Kyrie Irving can score at all 3 levels with a deep bag of moves that forces constant defensive adjustments. D'Angelo Russell brings reliable pull-up shooting and secondary playmaking, while PJ Washington stretches defenses from the power forward spot, creating valuable space for slashers and post players. Versatility is another strength. When Dallas wants to go big, they can pair Anthony Davis with Daniel Gafford in the front court, using size to dominate the paint. When they want to play small, Cooper Flagg slides to the 4, opening the floor for faster ball movement and more driving lanes. This ability to shift lineups makes them difficult to prepare for. No opponent can expect the same look twice in a series. The bench production keeps the pressure on. Dwight Powell brings energy, screening, and veteran leadership. Dante Exum adds stability as a secondary ball handler and defender.
Well, a smart scorer. His outside shot isn't falling, and that one is...
Max Christie provides shooting. Olivier Maxence Prosper offers defensive versatility and rebounding from the wing. The question is, with this combination of shooting, size, and depth, how many teams can realistically trade baskets with them for 4 quarters without breaking first? What separates the 2026 Mavericks from past Dallas teams isn't just talent, it's the rare blend of youth and championship DNA. They've built a roster that can win now while still having the core pieces to dominate for years to come. At the center of it all is Cooper Flagg, a rookie in the unusual position of joining a legitimate contender from day one. Most top draft picks say spend their first years rebuilding with struggling teams. Flagg is doing the opposite, starting his career with stars like Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson beside him, and with playoff basketball already in the conversation. That kind of environment accelerates growth and cuts the learning curve in half. The depth is another factor. Even if injuries or slumps hit, Dallas can shift rotations without losing their identity. Bench pieces like Caleb Martin, Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, and Daniel Gafford could start elsewhere, giving Dallas flexibility few contenders can match. The ceiling is clear, a defense that could finish top 3 in the league, paired with an offense capable of cracking the top 5. That's the formula for a championship run. Elite on both ends of the floor. Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis must stay healthy for the full playoff stretch. Flagg has to adapt to the NBA's physicality and pace without hitting the rookie wall. And role players will need to hit open shots when defenses collapse on the stars. So the question becomes, if all those pieces fall into place, who's actually stopping Dallas from winning its first championship since 2011?